Have you ever bought herbs at the grocery store? A little clamshell of cilantro, $3. A pot of basil, just a little one, $5. Expensive, isn't it? What if I told you that even in winter, you can start dozens of herb plants from seed for literally pennies per plant without any special setup? I'm talking about winter sowing your herbs so that next summer your herb garden can be absolutely fantastic. We're using recycled milk jugs as little mini greenhouses. We plant them, then set them outside in the snow and let winter do all the heavy lifting. No grow lights, no heat mats, no fancy equipment, just simple seed sowing that produces incredibly strong plants. Hi, I'm Carol from Almost 2 Acres. Let's do this.
Winter sowing works beautifully for herbs, but we need to be strategic about which ones we choose. This method is ideal for perennial herbs and hardy annual herbs, basically anything that can handle cold weather or actually benefits from it. Many perennial herbs are Mediterranean in origin and are naturally cold hardy. Think about oregano, thyme, and sage. These plants can survive winters in the ground, so their seeds can certainly handle being started in containers outdoors. Plus, a lot of these perennial herbs are expensive to buy as plants at the garden center. A small pot of French thyme might cost you $6 or $7, but a packet of seeds costs $2 to $3 and will give you potentially dozens of plants. That's serious savings when you're trying to establish an herb garden. Hardy annual herbs like cilantro, dill, and parsley also do great with winter sowing because they actually prefer cold weather. These herbs bolt and go to seed quickly in summer heat, but started early in cool conditions, they grow strong and productive. Let's divide the best herbs for winter sowing into 2 categories, perennials and hardy annuals. Perennial herbs, these come back year after year. Oregano, both Greek and Italian oregano winter sow beautifully. These are kitchen workhorses for pizza, pasta, and Mediterranean cooking. The seeds are tiny, but they germinate readily after cold exposure. Thyme, common thyme, lemon thyme, creeping thyme, all varieties work. Thyme is one of those herbs that's pricey to buy, but grows easily from seed with your patience. Sage. Garden sage loves winter sowing. It needs cold stratification to germinate well, so the winter exposure actually improves germination rates. Fresh sage is incredible for cooking and making tea. Chives. Both regular chives and garlic chives are perfect candidates. They're hardy as can be, and once established, you'll have fresh chives for years. Lavender. While it can be slow to germinate, lavender benefits from cold stratification. English lavender is the hardiest variety for most climates. Lemon balm. This is part of the mint family, incredibly easy to grow, and makes wonderful tea. Fair warning though, it self-seeds very well once established, so plant it where you don't mind it spreading. Catnip. If you have cats, they'll thank you. If not, it makes a nice calming tea for humans too. Bee balm or monarda. This is both an herb and a pollinator plant. The leaves make tea and the flowers attract hummingbirds and bees like crazy. Yarrow. This is a medicinal herb with beautiful flowers. It's incredibly tough and drought tolerant once established. Now we're on to hardy annual herbs. These grow for only one season. Parsley. Both flatleaf and curly parsley winter sow well. Parsley seeds are notorious for being slow to germinate, but the winter exposure seems to help. You'll have fresh parsley all season long and bring in the swallowtail butterflies. Cilantro, which becomes coriander. This is perfect for winter sowing because cilantro hates heat. Started early in cool conditions, it grows strong before bolting. Plus, you get both the leaves, cilantro, and seeds, coriander. Dill. Another cool season lover that bolts in heat. Winter sown dill grows into big, productive plants perfect for pickling, fish dishes, and fresh salads. Chamomile. German chamomile is an annual that self-seeds readily. Those little daisy-like flowers make the most soothing tea. Calendula. Sometimes called pot marigold, this is both medicinal and edible. The petals are gorgeous in salads and have skin-healing properties. Unfortunately, not every herb works for winter sowing. Heat-loving herbs like basil, for instance, need warm soil to germinate and will just sit there rotting in cold, wet winter conditions. Same goes for tender perennials like rosemary and tropical herbs like lemongrass or Cuban oregano. These need to be started indoors with warmth. Annual summer herbs like summer savory also need warmer conditions. Save these for indoor seed starting or direct sow after your last frost. The basic winter sowing process is the same whether you're doing herbs or other plants. Let me walk you through it, and I'll point out any herb-specific tips along the way. Gather your containers. Clean gallon milk jugs work best. You can also use water jugs or clear plastic containers. Make sure they're translucent so light can penetrate. Prepare the jugs. Poke 3 to 4 drainage holes in the bottom. Then cut horizontally around the jug around 3 to 4 inches from the bottom, leaving a small hinge near the handle so the top stays attached. Add soil. Fill the bottom with 3 to 4 inches of pre-moistened potting mix. For herbs specifically, you can add a bit of extra perlite or sand to improve drainage, since many Mediterranean herbs prefer well-drained soil. Aim for soil that's damp but not soggy. Sow your seeds. Here's where herb seeds vary quite a bit. For tiny seeds like thyme and oregano, just scatter them on the soil surface and barely press them in. They need light to germinate. For medium seeds like parsley and cilantro, plant them about a 1/4 inch deep. For larger seeds like calendula, you can go 1/2 inch deep. Don't be stingy with herb seeds. Germination rates vary, and you can always thin later or transplant extras. Label the milk jugs clearly. Use a permanent marker to write the herb name and date on the outside of the jug. I can't stress this enough. You will not remember what's what, especially if you're doing multiple varieties. Seal in place outside. Tape the jug closed with duct tape, just enough to keep it shut, not so much you can't get it open later. Leave the cap off for ventilation and moisture. Then set your jugs outside in a sunny spot that's somewhat protected from harsh winds. When should you winter sow herbs? For hardy herbs like thyme and oregano and sage, you can start as early as January or even late December in many zones. These benefit from extended cold exposure. If you're in zones 3 to 5, you have a wider window, late December through March. Zone 6 to 7, January through March is perfect. Zone 8 gardeners aim for late December through February for perennials and January through early March for hardy annuals. Once your jugs are outside, there's minimal care needed. Check them every couple of weeks to make sure the soil hasn't completely dried out, though with snow and rain getting in through the open top, this usually isn't an issue. You'll notice through winter that the jugs get covered with snow, possibly even buried. That's totally fine. The seeds are experiencing exactly what they need, natural freeze-thaw cycles that help break dormancy. As we move into late winter and early spring, start checking your jugs more frequently. You're watching for germination. Herb seeds vary in how quickly they sprout. Cilantro and dill are fairly quick. You might see seedlings within a few weeks of warming weather. Parsley is notoriously slow. It can take 3 to 4 weeks even in good conditions. Be patient. Thyme and oregano are also slow pokes. Don't give up on them. Sage and lavender can be very slow, sometimes taking 4 to 6 weeks or even longer. Once you see seedlings emerging, remove the tape and either take the top off completely or prop it open during the days for ventilation. On very warm, sunny days, you don't want seedlings to overheat. Keep an eye on moisture now. As seedlings grow and temperatures warm, they'll need more water. The open top allows you to water easily. Your herb seedlings will be ready to transplant when they have a couple sets of true leaves and look vigorous. For most herbs, this means waiting until after your last frost date, usually sometime in May for many northern gardeners. The beauty of winter sown seedlings is that they're already hardened off. They've been growing outside, so there's no week-long hardening process. You can transplant them directly into garden beds, containers, or herb planters. When you're ready to plant, water the soil in the jug thoroughly. Use a spoon or a couple of forks to gently lift out sections of seedlings. Carefully tease the roots apart. Herb seedlings can be delicate, so go slowly. Plant them in prepared beds or containers with good drainage. Most Mediterranean herbs like oregano, thyme, and sage prefer lean, well-drained soil, so don't over-amend with rich compost. A little compost mixed with your native soil is fine, but these herbs actually develop better flavor in less than perfect soil. Water them in well after transplanting, then maintain even moisture while they establish. Once perennial herbs are established in your garden, many are quite drought tolerant. They will take more water if they're in pots. A few herb-specific tips. Thin appropriately. Herbs like cilantro and dill can be planted fairly close together for a cut and come again harvest. But perennial herbs like thyme and oregano need space to develop into full plants. Thin or transplant these to give each plant room. Be patient with slow germinators. I mentioned this, but it's worth repeating. Parsley, thyme, oregano, and lavender are slow. Don't toss those jugs just because nothing has sprouted in 3 weeks. Give them time. Provide good drainage. The number one killer of Mediterranean herbs is soggy soil. Make sure your jugs have adequate drainage holes and don't let them sit in standing water. Consider succession planting. With annual herbs like cilantro and dill that you harvest frequently, you might want to start multiple batches a few weeks apart. That way you have continuous harvests rather than everything maturing at once. Here's what I love about winter sowing herbs. By the time summer rolls around, you have dozens of established herb plants that cost you maybe a few cents each when you factor in soil and seeds. Compare that to buying them at a garden center for $5 to $7 each, and we're talking serious savings. Plus, you have the exact varieties you want. Love lemon thyme? Plant a whole jug of it. Want both flat leaf and curly parsley for you and the butterflies? Do a jug of each. The variety available in seeds far exceeds what you'll find at most nurseries. If you would like to have a look at fun and unique herb seeds to start, I have affiliate links in the description. Now you can start your own winter sowing of herbs in milk jugs. It's an incredibly practical, budget-friendly way to establish a productive herb garden without the fuss of indoor seed starting. You're working with natural cycles, recycling containers, and setting yourself up for fresh herbs all season long and into next winter when you dry them. Start collecting those milk jugs, grab some herb seeds, and give this a try. This summer, you'll be harvesting fresh oregano, thyme, parsley, and cilantro from plants you started for pennies in the middle of the winter.
Which herb plants are you interested in growing? Please take this minute to hit like and subscribe and then leave a comment. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it really helps my channel grow. Until next time, let's get using those last year's herbs to cook some supper, and then let's grow some more for this year.